neutered compared to what he used to be? Is he just company man Punk?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The Saudi Arabia thing said all you need to know when he apologized. And years back, he didn't just do one solo interview, one instance of him saying the thing on Twitter to Miz. He did like a Barstool Sports interview and a couple other ones where he doubled and tripled down. He's like, come on, we know what this is. So I understand this is the businessman, this is the worker in Punk and all of us. Where else can he go to make this kind of money at this point in his life? This really is
not AEW.
Well, but this is really the last place he can go, and maybe the last run CM Punk can have as a professional wrestler. So, and I can see, dude, even with Hunter saying, which is weird, it was kind of very sanctimonious and condescending, like, yeah, I talked to him a few years back. I'm like, that dude hasn't changed. Oh, I'm looking at you in 2025, Hunter. You haven't changed either. You just got more power. Let's be honest. And when they're talking, Punk is very, very submissive to Triple H. Very submissive. And Hunter's saying, and he's forced F-bombs and swears. We can get into that too. The forced nature of this is real. Look, I said the F word. It's real. You know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can clearly see it is. What did I say it was? It might be an extreme metaphor, but it looked like a hostage situation with Triple H and Punk. And Punk is doing what I would say any man who has a job that they absolutely hate, which he loves wrestling, but I'm talking about the actual job, WWE, the politics, and the environment. But for his wife, for his dog Larry, for anybody that has a family, I'm going to go and make the most out of it, because this money is going to feed my family and have money for multi-generations if I decide to have kids. So yeah, Triple, I'll grin. He was grin effing him. They were grin effing each other. Like, we're buddies. Oh, we're so much buddies. I love you. Did you feel that way?
I read even more into the Triple H comment because only a few days ago, CM Punk gave an interview. I can't remember where from, but here's the gist of it. He revealed that he had done... He'd met up with Vince and Triple H in a hotel room or wherever it was, clandestine style, back in 2018, 2019. I figure this is around the Fox Sports analyst kind of thing. And he said that the meeting seemed to go really well, and he and Vince were getting along. Triple H was also there, of course. And then he was expecting a phone call, and he said, Vince McMahon ghosted me. That was only a few days ago. Then Unreal comes out, and Triple H, I figure, is mentioning the same meeting. How many meetings can there be between, CM Punk and Vince McMahon and Triple H around that
Yeah, they
time
said
frame?
they met in person, so that would probably have to be the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said exactly what you said. He's still the same guy. It's not going to work. So it was apparently, because Vince McMahon seemed to be all gung-ho about bringing Punk back, and they've forgiven each other for their various indiscretions, but apparently Triple H hadn't. So from that, I'm gleaning that Triple H was the one who blocked Punk from returning back in 2018, 2019, and not Vince.
So what made Triple H change his mind? Do you think it was more of a TKO decision than Triple H's?
No, this is pre-TKO.
No,
now.
now.
Are you talking about bringing him
back finally at Survivor Series 2023, right?
Yeah, I think Triple H has said, it might have even been on Unreal, it's like, he's a different guy, and maybe I'm a different guy as well. And maybe different means a bit more submissive, a bit more malleable.
Well, that's what I mean. What does
maybe
different mean? Now I can control him. Now, Punk has never been, I don't know about backstage. I was in the ECW CM Punk, if we wrestled every other 15 minutes. So I've gotten quite a bit of Punk who was generous to me. And maybe that's because, just to give you a little bit of background, when Punk was in ROH, Dreamer and I were talking to him quite a bit and gave him some advice. And when he went to work the heat match against Val and even did a tag match, I believe, with Maven, Dreamer and myself were like, please make our buddy look good. You want to get him a job here. And gave him some fitness advice and some workout advice back then. I did. Dreamer didn't. But
I was going to say, what would Dreamer's advice have been?
Eat Oreos. But I did give him some advice about certain looks and all that stuff. You need a body. Obviously, Vince McMahon appreciated that airport test and everything. And I had done an angle with Punk in Connecticut where I came out and he went for the Polish Hammer, by the way. I ducked it, I Stevie kicked him. We were supposed to have a set of matches, much like when I went to OVW and other developmental or worked house shows, as sort of a string of tryouts to see. Now, I already said he's ready to go there to some extent, but they wanted to see these matches. They pulled me from those matches, but that's the background of how far Punk and I go back into that, into OVW when I was down there during the John Hennigan match and other matches that I had there for the week or two. I've always believed him, but I've never seen anything outside of just a unique personality, whether people think he was a crybaby, he was a complainer, he was never happy, he was trying to buck the system. These are things that made CM Punk interesting on TV. Now you've taken all that away. So when he tells Gunther all these different catchphrases leading up to SummerSlam, and then you watch the Unreal thing, you're like, well, he's not really the Punk I thought he was, or he wasn't really the loner that I thought he was, or he was not standing up for the underground. He's just a corporate guy.
Yeah, he's constantly saying at the moment, almost, I don't know if it is at the expense of his booking, but pay me. Just give me the money. Pay me. So I don't know if he's just hit his 40s and just, maybe, I mean, and this might be to his benefit or to his credit, where he says, well, my years are now limited. I can still make huge money. As you said before, I can make generational wealth, if he hasn't already. And I still love wrestling. I might not love everything around it, the travel and the backstage stuff. But he seems to be, as on the face of it, as happy as he's ever been in wrestling. He's making more money in wrestling. It's just that it's sort of now at odds with the character that he built for 25 years.
Yeah, and I would dare say, I mean, he's getting treated a lot better than mostly everybody in the company. So let's not mix this.
Hey, you said hostage. It's like, hey, you take me hostage for $4 million, $6 million
line.
a year.
You pay me $2 million a year. You could shove the rusty whatever up my what
fishing knife. I even remember the line.
Yeah, and I'll go,
rusty fishing
you won't
knife.
hear from me after that. That's the real of it. Yeah, he's being paid for his misery. That's a Tommy Dreamer catchphrase that just encapsulates that WWE political system. Being paid for your misery. But how much, he's being paid a lot more for his misery than a Karrion Kross for his misery. Think about it. Or a Bailey right now for her misery and all sorts of other things. But here's the trick of it, and here's where Hunter is sort of, you talk about Star Trek, Kobayashi Maru. Punk is in his own Kobayashi Maru right now. You know why? One of those things was Hunter, just like that meeting during the podcast where Hunter said to him, well, every match on WrestleMania is a main event. When he wanted the main event WrestleMania, remember that? And he was like, well, pay me then. Pay me like it's a main event. That's Punk. That Unreal one in Gorilla, where he's hugging it and they're kind of forehead to forehead and Punk's crying. And he's like, that's an effing main event right there. F. I said F. It's real. That's an effing main event right there. So now Punk's like, it's not really the main event because it's 2 nights of WrestleMania and it's night 1. But what do I say to this guy? He kind of put me in the main event. And I'm still strong because there's an angle off of this and I didn't win. But it's not really. Do you see the minefield that Punk's in right now?
You see, I think it makes so much sense for him to turn bad guy, align with Triple H screen, restart the corporation, and then that will be I swear that will be the best thing for his career.
Because he's eating crap on TV as a character and making money off it, but it's truth on TV. It's truth in a work sense. Like, Triple H really does have him under his thumb right now, and he is being submissive. You put that on TV and call him corporate man Punk. By the way, I think the people would love him even more somehow. Just like Cena, he'll be more interesting than ever.
I think he might be like Edge. When I guess people wanted to cheer him for years, but he was so good at being hated that he didn't get that. He was the only guy who made John Cena loved around that time when he was being criticized. I think CM Punk could get majority boos even from the hardcore.
But sell a ton. I got to turn my 10 unit back on. but get it. You sell a ton of merch. Think about
yeah.
that. He can be a heel in this day and age. You can be a heel and still make tons of money. Where back in the day, you cut your money in half when you turn heel. That's not the world we live in anymore.